On the grid, and all eyes on the traffic lights for the start of the 25-lap race. The start and wheelies everywhere, and the near disaster as reigning champion Edwin Weibel almost wheelies into newcomer Christer Lindholm, number 3 of Sweden. Into the first turn, and it was Michael Galinski, number 21, from row 2 who led. Roger Kallenberger from the 4th row of the grid was second, and Christer Lindholm third. Galinski was soon under pressure from Roger Kallenberger, chased by Lindholm, Rainer Janisch on the Suzuki, then Udo Mark 17 and Andy Hoffman. But a mistake by Galinski lets Kallenberger and Lindholm go through. The two Yamaha Aurel Racing team members out in front. Lindholm moved ahead to take the lead and set the fastest lap of the race. But there was drama further back down the field. Andy Hoffman clipped the rear wheel of Janssen, number 28, who he was about to lap, and the big Swiss rider went down. Schmidt, number 30 on the Kawasaki, had nowhere to go and couldn't avoid running over Hoffman, and he too went down. A very fine effort to avoid Hoffman, but Schmidt paid the penalty for his bravery when he too crashed. Lindholm, out in front, was pulling away from Udo Mark, number 17, and Roger Kallenberger, number 4, back in second and third places. The last lap, Udo Mark, number 17, was still chased by Kallenberger, but Lindholm was out on his own. The checkered flag of victory in the opening round for the Swede, Lindholm. And this is how they finished in round 1. Lindholm from Mark, Roger Kallenberger, Herbert Enzinger and Thomas Corner. So maximum points then for Lindholm and the Yamaha. Round 2 of the competition was also at Speyer, but conditions were not good. Cold, damp and unpleasant, and it was tyre warmers everywhere. For most riders, the choice was between hand-cut slicks and intermediates. Another 25-lap race ahead of the field, and when the lights changed, it was a much more controlled start than in round 1. Into the first corner, Suzuki-mounted Rainer Janisch, number 55, was in front, followed by Christer Lindholm, the Australian Owen Coles, then Baldassare Monte and Michael Rudrow. Janisch held the lead from Coles, but Lindholm had dropped back to 4th behind Monte. Edwin Weibel, number 1, Andy Hoffman, number 2, and Roger Kallenberger, number 4, were also going well. But conditions were very, very difficult, as Edwin Weibel, the reigning champion, found to his cost. Another look at how the reigning champion went out. He was unhurt, but the DNL Ducati was sent spinning down the road. Fastest lap this time went to Marcel Kallenberger, number 11, Roger Kallenberger's brother, on a Kawasaki. Marcel chased 7th place man Udo Mark, number 17, and brother Roger, number 4, who was in 8th place. Janisch, number 55, revelled in the damp conditions and was well clear of the pack starting the final lap. He lapped the Swede, Leif Persson, as he completed the race distance. A rare win for Janisch and Suzuki, and this is how they finished in round 2. Janisch, Rudrow, Lindholm, Monte and Hoffman. And then came Thomas Corner, Roger and Marcel Kallenberger, Udo Mark and Owen Cole. So we asked the boss of the Suzuki racing team whether he was satisfied with the result. And he said, of course, yes, we are. We've been waiting for a win since 1988. Today, Rainer climbed to the top of the victory podium. It's been a very big day for us. So we asked the rider himself what he thought. You're second in the championship table now with 30 points. Are you happy with this? Well, it's been a great start to the season, and after all the problems we've had, we never even dreamt of having a victory like this. Back again to the team boss. We asked him what the aims of the team are now, hopefully to carry on as we did today. Round 3 of the championship was as part of the Austrian Grand Prix. A big crowd, a nice summer's day, and the high-speed Salzburg ring all combined to make it a memorable race meeting. And here's former 500 world champion Wayne Rainey.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank all the Austrian fans for all the support they've given me throughout my rehabilitation since my accident last year. It's nice to see such a big crowd here today, and I hope everybody enjoys the race.
Baldassare Monti riding Peter Abato's Ducati, and here's big Andy Hoffman. Bernard Schick, number 36, Weibel's teammate in the DNL Ducati squad. Well, could Lindholm extend his lead at the Salzburg ring? 40 riders on the grid, and after a lot of rain in practice, a dry track for the race. Lindholm, from the second row of the grid, made a great start, but it was Udo Mark and Marcel Kallenberger who led going into the first chicane. And watch for Roger Kallenberger coming through in 4th place. He wasn't the only man to take to the grass. Monti and Weibel did it as well. And this race will be remembered for this incredible accident involving the Hungarian Arpad Armati. It happened when Armati ran into the back of Michael Lidl, who slowed suddenly. The impact so hard it knocked Lidl's hand off the handlebars and his foot off the footrest. Arpad, amazingly relatively unhurt in the crash, escaping with a couple of broken ribs and 2 broken fingers. The race, meantime, continued. It was Udo Mark who proved unstoppable here, taking the fastest lap in the high-speed race, chased in vain by the rest of the pack. Mark, on the Peter Lorz Ducati, was in great form. Further back, Jochen Schmidt, Christian Lindholm and Marcel Kallenberger battled it out for 2nd, 3rd and 4th places as they started their final lap. Udo Mark, meantime, was carving his way past tail-enders and was always in command. Mark ran home a comfortable winner to show Lindholm that he was going to have a fight on his hands. And this is how they finished. Mark, Kallenberger, Schmidt, Lindholm and Weibel. And after 3 races, this was the point situation. Lindholm 4 points clear at the top of the table. Lindholm and the Yamaha Aral team were well aware that they lacked top-end performance as they entered round 4 at the Salzburg ring. Our interviewer, Bernd Fulk, welcomed Michael Lidl for a chat. Yesterday, in the final practice, Lidl had been very quick indeed.
Wir freuen uns, dass du wieder mit bei Pro Superbike dabei bist. Gestern zum Training eine super Leistung im Regen.
And Lidl said, well, it was the first time I'd ridden a superbike at the Salzburg ring. Together with the Michelin rain tyres, which are the best at the moment, I was able to reach the 3rd fastest position.
Und mir ist es eben gelungen, eine gute Zeit zu fahren, die eben gut genug war, auf den 3. Platz zu kommen.
Arpad Armati, number 17, missing from the grid as they lined up for round 4. And it was another great start for Udo Mark, number 17. He rocketed to the front, chased by Andy Hoffman, number 2, Roger Kallenberger, number 4, and Jochen Schmidt on the Kawasaki, number 33, going into the chicane. It was Mark, Kallenberger, Hoffman, Schmidt, Enzinger and Lindholm in 6th spot. But lapping up the Salzburg ring circuit, Udo Mark was quickly in command once again. Behind him, it was Roger Kallenberger, Andy Hoffman, Jochen Schmidt, Christian Lindholm and Herbert Enzinger trying to match the pace of the yellow Ducati. It was Jochen Schmidt's Kawasaki that finally caught a fast mark, with Michael Lidl 9th, and Roger Kallenberger came to grief this time, crashing in spectacular style. His leathers a bit second-hand after the fall, but the stocky little Swiss rider bounced back after his get-off. Jochen Schmidt and Udo Mark battled for the lead throughout the race, with Leidl, number 9, third, and Phyllis a little further back, chased by Lindholm, who, despite all his problems, clocked up the fastest lap of the race. Schmidt and Mark fought a tremendous battle for the lead. There was still nothing in it as they set out on their final lap. Schmidt had to work hard to fight off an attack by Udo Mark going into the chicane. And the question then, was the Kawasaki faster than the Ducati? Sprint to the line, and Schmidt held on to make it 4 different winners in the opening 4 rounds of the championship. And Schmidt and Mark both given the same time, but the judges giving the verdict in favour of the Kawasaki man, Lindholm third, and Michael Leidl in 4th place, just ahead of the veteran Australian Rob Phillis. Marcel Kallenberger was next home, and after the race we spoke to Jochen Schmidt. Well, yesterday I knew I had a good feeling for the bike. Now I know exactly what I can do with the brakes, and when I set off on the first lap with the leading group, I knew I had a good chance of a podium place. Yesterday I thought I could be third, and today I won. The bike was perfect and very similar to Udo's machine. A 1994 season review of the Pro Superbike Series, and round 5 of the championship was the Shell Prize of Budapest at the Hungaroring. 4 rounds gone, Christer Lindholm on 100 points, 2 ahead of Udo Mark, with Marcel Kallenberger third on 65 and Edwin Weibel fourth on 51. The lights changed to green, and it was Michael Leidl who got the whole shot on his Kawasaki. He was chased by Edwin Weibel, Udo Mark, Christer Lindholm and Arpad Armati back in action after that big Salzburg still. Leidl then the early leader, chased by Weibel, Mark, Lindholm and Armati. Andy Hoffman and Rob Phillis, numbers 2 and 32, were also up with the leaders in the early stages. Udo Mark moved up to 2nd place behind Weibel, with Lindholm passing Leidl to go 3rd, and then Leidl tried too hard to chase the Swede and crashed out in spectacular fashion. A replay of the crash showed the back end of the Kawasaki stepped out, and though Leidl fought to control the slide, it was all in vain, and down he went. Herbert Enzinger inherited 4th place, chased hard by Rob Phillis, number 32, Marcel Kallenberger in number 11, and Arpad Armati, number 70. And further down the field, this spectacular crash ruined the day for 2 unhappy campers, but both escaped unhurt from the get-off. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th place had Phillis, Enzinger, Marcel Kallenberger and Armati battling wheel to wheel. Early pacemaker Edwin Weibel had been caught by Udo Mark, but he still set the fastest lap of the race, trying to stay ahead of his rival. Weibel, the reigning champion, had still to win a race in the 1994 series. Edwin put in a big effort in the closing stages to pull clear of Mark, and it worked. The lead had stretched to over 4 seconds as they headed towards the checkered flag. Edwin Weibel back at his very best. And only a bunch of tail-enders looked likely to cause Weibel any problems as he entered the final lap. The checkered flag ready for the little Swiss man, and 5 racers and a different winner at each one. That's how they finished. Udo Mark 2nd and Christer Lindholm 3rd. The championship still far from decided. Well, we talked to Wolfgang Zeyen.
Wolfgang Zeyen, der Teamchef von Edwin Weibel.
What is the direction Ducati's going this year? And he said, this year we started for the first time with factory engines from Bologna. The engines have been prepared in Italy, and during the races, our mechanic Michael Zebert does the service work. That means we nearly have a new team around Edwin Weibel. At the beginning of the season, we thought that we can perhaps take the hat-trick of wins. We're a little bit unhappy at the way the season started, but we think we can go on from today's performance and maybe try and win some of the following races.
An die Leistung von heute anknüpfen zu können, also versuchen, die weiteren Rennen zu gewinnen.
It was back to the Hungaroring for the 6th round of the championship. And the championship was hotting up. 5 races gone, Christer Lindholm and Udo Mark level pegging at the top of the championship table. Both had 115 points. Perfect conditions for the race. And it was Edwin Weibel, fastest in practice, who made the whole shot this time. He scorched into the lead going into turn 1, followed by Udo Mark, Alfred Almaty, Christer Lindholm and Roger Kallenberger. Kallenberger moved up to 4th to chase Weibel, Mark and Harmati. A good scrap for the first 6, but behind them came Rainer Janisch, Michael Rudruff and Martin Wimmer, bike number 66. It was Rudruff, still out of the top 6 at this stage, who set the fastest lap of the race. Udo Mark then took the lead from Weibel, letting Edwin do the chasing. With Lindholm a long way back, Udo Mark desperately wanted to win, but Weibel hadn't given up the fight. Starting the last lap, there was absolutely nothing in it. Weibel, a crafty character. He timed his move to perfection, pulling out of the slipstream to grab the lead going into turn 1. Now it was Udo Mark who had to do all the chasing. It was a very, very tough, hard fight, and this moment showed how tough. Close to making contact as Udo made a last desperate bid to take the lead, but Weibel refused to give way. Then Weibel looks across, thinks he's done enough, and Udo Mark went by, snatching the victory, leaving Weibel shaking his head. Another camera angle to watch the sprint to the line. Udo Mark on a tighter line than Weibel, finds the drive out of the corner to grab the victory. So Udo Mark the winner this time, Weibel, Kallenberger, Roger Kallenberger, Jochen Schmidt in 5th place, and 6th Christer Lindholm. Well, after the race we spoke to Udo Mark.
Well, first it was Edwin Weibel who took the lead and tried to escape, but he wasn't able to do that. Then I managed to get in front and tried to pull clear, but I couldn't do that either. So on the final lap we changed the lead a few times, and in the end I just had more luck than Edwin. So Udo Mark now the championship leader. From one former communist country to another. From Hungary, the series moved on to round 7 at Most in the Czech Republic. 34 riders on the grid for the 16-lap race. And it was Bernhard Schick, number 36, who led the pack into the first left-hander, with Udo Mark, the fastest man in practice, second. Number 36, still the leader, but right behind him were Udo Mark, Roger Kallenberger, Michael Leidl and Christer Lindholm. Rob Phillips, number 32, had qualified in 4th place, but started battling down in 12th spot.
Soon, though, it was Lindholm and Mark fighting it out for the lead. And fastest lap in the race, going to the championship leader, Udo Mark. The two Kellenbergers, Roger, number 4, and Marcel, number 11, were third and fourth, chased by Edwin Weibel. Weibel was trying hard to climb higher, but the Kellenbergers simply refused to move over. Then came disaster for Udo Mark, who crashed out while chasing Lindholm. Another look at the incident. Udo off the bike long before the corner, and rider and machine cart wheeling off the track onto the grass. Fortunately, he was unhurt. But Lindholm's hopes of victory were dashed when slow-starting Edwin Weibel grabbed the lead, and chasing Lindholm was Marcel Kellenberger too. Udo wasn't the only one to be caught out. Unlucky Urs Vader high-sided from his Yamaha, but he was quickly on his feet. Then Marcel Kellenberger took the lead from both Weibel and Lindholm. There was nothing in it going into the final lap, but it was Kellenberger who had his nose in front going into the first corner. Weibel, though, wasn't finished. He swept majestically through on the inside of Kellenberger to grab the lead. And a corner later, Lindholm tried the same move to go into second spot, but Lindholm held him off. The sprint to the line, and it was Weibel the winner. And after the race, we talked to Edwin Weibel.
Ja, ich habe den Start ein bisschen verhauen.
Well, I had a bad start, but I decided to try and keep calm and caught up place by place. But in the last few laps, I had some problems with the tyres. So I decided I'd try and get a tow round from the two men with me. Then on the last lap, I played the old Edwin Weibel rule and decided to win. That Edwin Weibel victory also helped lift the DNL Ducati team to the top of the PS Magazine's Heingericke team competition. So Lindholm now 5 points clear of Udo Mark as the championship moved on to round 8, once again at Most in the Czech Republic. Weibel was now just 27 points behind Mark in third spot, with Marcel and Roger Kellenberger 4th and 5th. Before the race, we had a chat with Sven Seidel. But today we saw a little sticker on the bike of Thomas Franz. Did you see it, and what's it all about? Well, yes, of course I saw it. As long as I can remember, Thomas Franz has had a sort of magnetic effect on me. And this year Sven has had lots of crashes. Each time he tries to take me out as well, but he failed. And this time he fell off. And today I wrote down a little thing which says, Sven, keep away from me. Udo Mark back in the fray for round 8. But it was Edwin Weibel who again headed the charge, followed by Rob Phillips, number 32, and Joachim Schmidt, 33, both on Kawasaki's. Udo Mark, 17, Christer Lindholm, 3, and Roger Kellenberger, bike number 4. Rob Phillips, making a better start, head of the convoy, chasing Weibel, with teammate Schmidt in third spot. Pace just a little bit too quick for one of the tail enders. Phillips couldn't stay the pace though, and he dropped back to 5th behind Weibel, Schmidt, Mark and Lindholm, with the two Kellenbergers, Roger and Marcel, next. Well, once again, the fastest lap went to Udo Mark as he tried to reel in Weibel and Schmidt ahead of him. But Lindholm was now 5th and looking threatening. 32 was fourth, Lindholm fifth, and Roger Kellenberger proving there was no team orders, trying hard to get past his teammates. Lindholm forced his way through into second spot, shadowed by Phyllis, Schmidt and Udo Mark. Then dramatically, Edwin Weibel hit problems when two enormous flying insects splattered onto his visor, forcing him into the pits, lifting Lindholm to first place. It was a 7-rider group battling for the lead as they went into the final lap, and Phyllis was the one to use this tail ender to his advantage and take the lead. Lindholm moved up to second place, passing Jochen Schmidt. Then it was the charge to the line, and it was Phyllis, number 32, who headed the 6 riders home. Udo Mark happy to congratulate the veteran Australian on his first Pro Superbike win, and so too did Christer Lindholm, and that's how they finished. And an astonished looking Rob Phillips telling everyone that he won the war. Join us after the break for more Pro Superbike action. And from the Czech Republic, it was on to the Nürburgring in Germany for round 9. Lindholm was now 11 points ahead of Udo Mark. Edwin Weibel, who failed to score any points after his visor problem, still third, but now only 2 points ahead of Marcel Kellenberger, who was in fourth spot. From the start, it was Michael Rudrup, number 7, who made a flying getaway. Rudrup led the pack into the chicane, followed by Weibel, Schmidt and Lindholm. Rudrup, number 7, then Weibel, Lindholm, Schmidt, Mark, Phyllis, Marcel Kellenberger, and number 6, Owen Coles. And Rudrup stayed out in front on the opening lap, holding off Weibel, Schmidt and Lindholm. This was Rudrup's best performance of the season, and he was only 9th fastest in practice. For the moment, the championship contenders just couldn't get near him. Kellenberger still making the pace, chased by Weibel and Coates. But by the end of the opening lap, the pack were getting closer. Midway through the race, Rudrup dropped back, and now it was Lindholm, Weibel, Mark and Schmidt, with Udo notching once again fastest lap of the race. Lindholm, the championship leader, he knew he needed a victory. Udo Mark, though, was now up into second place, and he in turn was hoping to get in front and cut back the Swedes' advantage at the top of the table. Into the last lap, and Lindholm led, but not by much, from Mark and Weibel. Lindholm with the advantage for the moment. Schmidt looked out of contention now, but the others still had high hopes of victory. Lindholm knew Udo Mark would try at the left-hander, and he tried to hold his line, but Mark was in determined mood, and the pair came very, very close to touching. It was Lindholm who held the advantage, though. Weibel joined the group in the sprint to the flag, and he seized on a mistake by Udo Mark to dive up on the inside on the last corner to go second. It was a flat-out sprint to the flag, with Lindholm absolutely delighted to have won. Lindholm the winner, and Weibel snatching second place by just 0.02 of a second from Udo Mark. Lindholm, Weibel, Mark, Schmidt and Kellenberger the order. And that's how they stand after 9 races. And we spoke first to Christer Lindholm and then team manager Harry Winter.
Before, the level is pretty high. The quality of all the riders in top is pretty good, and the riders is showing that when we are doing the World Superbike, we're quite high up in the level, and bring them all back to Pro Superbike. We'll have close racing, and it's a high level.
Es gab ja nun wieder
Well, we
20
asked
Punkte
team
mehr.
manager
Der
Harry
Weg zum
Winter,
Sieg ist
our
nahe.
team's got
Freilich.
another 20 points.
Ja, das
Is
ist
the
richtig, aber das
championship any
Rennwochenende ist
closer?
ja noch nicht rum und
And he
die
said,
Zeit ist
well,
noch sehr
this
stark im Nacken.
weekend tells me it's not all over. We'd like to get closer to the Ducatis. I have to tell Christo that he has to start in the next races a little more tactically. Round 10 and the Nürburgring. And the Yamaha A-Rail team had brought in quicker engines for use in round 9. And Christer Lindholm and the rest of the squad were hoping that they would prove just as effective in round 10. With 5 races to go, the situation was that Christer Lindholm had a 16-point advantage at the top of the championship table. Udo Mark was on 161. Third now was Edwin Weibel on 125. Marcel Kallenberger had 117. Jochen Schmidt was 5th now with 94. And Rob Phillips was up into 6th place with 95. So, under starters' orders for the crucial round 10. The charge was on, away from the lights, not the best of starts for Christer Lindholm, and it was Udo Mark who headed the pack with 2 other Ducatis, Edwin Weibel and Bernhard Schick, right behind him as they went into the chicane. But chaos in the middle of the pack, riders and machines everywhere. More than 5 riders involved in this first corner incident. And Karl-Heinz Hennemann getting back in the action. Let's see it from a different angle. Absolute chaos. Thank goodness for the gravel track. And Rainer Janisch emerged unscathed from that confusion. It looked bad, but it could have been a lot worse. Nobody was hurt, and 8 riders involved. In the rerun, it was Edwin Weibel who grabbed the advantage right from the start. He led this time going into the chicane, but Udo Mark was up there in 2nd place, and Jochen Schmidt on the Kawasaki was 3rd. Weibel the leader, then Mark, Schmidt, Armati, Schick, Fred Bayen, Marcel Kallenberger, Lindholm Hoffmann and Roger Kallenberger. No sign though of Rob Phillips, and that was him. It looked as though he was being forced out onto the grass. Fastest lap once again going to Christer Lindholm. Edwin Weibel then the leader, Christer Lindholm in 2nd place, but it was Udo Mark who was through into 2nd place, chasing Christer Lindholm as the pack started the final circuit. Edwin Weibel though in a threatening 3rd place, and he dived ahead of Udo Mark to take 2nd spot. But it all proved just a little bit too much for this man. For Gert Schmidt lapped for the 2nd time, and he fell off. Oil flags out though as the leaders got round to the final corner, and Michael Galinsky decided he didn't like the look of that oil slick, and he falls off on the grass. Perfectly unhurt, but another faller, and chaos and confusion abounds. That was Faust Ehrenberger, and here comes Christer Lindholm to victory. Behind came Edwin Weibel and Udo Mark, but as Lindholm celebrated, there was drama. The officials decided that Udo Mark had allegedly passed Edwin Weibel on a yellow flag, and he was out of the results. Lindholm then extending his lead at the top of the championship table. Udo Mark without any points at all. Christer Lindholm then on 207, Udo Mark on 178. Round 11 was at the Brno circuit in the Czech Republic. Big crowd, lots of excitement. And a big crowd to watch the entertainment part of the Czech Grand Prix. And all the excitement was not on the racetrack. Just 4 races to go then as they blast off the line. The charge to the first corner, and once again Udo Mark on the Peter Lorz Ducati making a great start. Edwin Weibel right behind him, then Bernhard Schick, Christer Lindholm, Jochen Schmidt and Rob Phillips. Udo Mark in front, but Weibel goes for the inside line to take the advantage. Then came Jochen Schmidt, Bernhard Schick, Christer Lindholm, Rob Phillips, Marcel Kallenberger and Fred Bayens. Fastest lap went to Rob Phillips, up into 4th place after not the best of starts. Weibel out in front, set a scorching pace, and there was no success for Karl Truxas. The Austrian crashed out, fortunately without any injury. Weibel was magnificent. Jochen Schmidt tried hard to peg him back, and Udo Mark coming under pressure from Christer Lindholm, Bernhard Schick in 5th spot. Weibel looking for yet another victory. His hopes of the championship had certainly not evaporated. Jochen Schmidt, though, had gone. This is how he disappeared from the race. Lots of dirt and rubble, but Jochen Schmidt unhurt. And that left Edwin Weibel to hold off a determined challenge from Udo Mark on the final circuit. Udo Mark trying to go through on the inside line. Rob Phillips in 3rd place, but never really in contention on the final lap. Weibel battling to stay ahead then of the 1991 Pro Superbike champion, and over the line just 2 or 3 machines length between the 2 Ducati men. Weibel delighted, and that's how they finished the 11th race. Weibel, Mark, Phillips, Schick and Kallenberger. A big smile from Edwin Weibel. This is how the points were after 11 races. So on to Brno and the 12th round. A happy Rob Phillips, not really in the championship hunt though. It was certainly now between Christer Lindholm and Udo Mark, and Lindholm had a 29 points advantage over his big rival. A big crowd again to watch the action, and there was some entertainment, not specifically motorcycling oriented. You could say something for every taste. And we sent Bernd Fulk to have a word with the Austrian Karl Truxas. Well, it's the Grand Prix party in Brno. You had a very good practice session though here. And Karl said, yes, I'm very happy. After all the problems I had last week, the people at home can start counting on Karl Truxas again. And tonight, yes, I hope the music will start soon, and then we can really step on the gas. Certainly take their minds off the racing tomorrow. Dieter Braun, though, former world champion, not too interested in the dancing at the moment. Even a fashion show to entertain the punters. Then it was back on the racetrack and an on-bike camera on Roger Kallenberger's Yamaha A-Rail machine to entertain us in this race. All eyes on the traffic light start. The lights go red and quickly to green, and the pack was off towards the first corner. And once again, it was Udo Mark who made a great start. But Edwin Weibel on the Ducati nipped ahead of him to lead into turn 1. And a first lap crash, and it's Andy Hoffman and the Czech rider Michael Burser who crashed out right at the start. Weibel leads from Udo Mark, Rob Phillips, then Jochen Schmidt. There's Versus Kawasaki, who have the coming together with Hoffman. The pack already beginning to spread out, and Roger Kallenberger not having the very best of starts, trying to fight his way through the pack. This is the incident that put Hoffman and Burser out of the reckoning. Lindholm struggling in this race. The bike not running well, fighting to stay ahead of people like Eric Maillard and Arpad Amati. Meanwhile, out in front, it was Edwin Weibel who'd snatched the lead right at the start, and he set a scorching pace, chased by his big rival, Udo Mark. Rob Phillips was trying to make up for a poor start, but going into the final lap, it was Edwin Weibel out in front, having opened a good lead over Udo Mark. Weibel still not having given up hope of winning that championship for the third year in a row, but it was going to be a very, very tall order. And a bit of a celebration wheelie as Edwin Weibel headed out on the last lap. And these were the races when we had the 2D equipment on to show us the revs and the speed of the leaders out in the race. A fall on the last lap, and that was Rob Phillips. His race was run, no chance of adding to his season's tally. Edwin Weibel, glancing back several times to make sure he doesn't get caught out, celebrates the win. Rob Phillips determined to get back into the race, but to no avail, and that's how they finish. Poor old Lindholm well out of the top 5, and his lead at the top of the championship table had been cut. For the Hockenheim race, the Ducati factory had brought in some help. The Italian Mauro Lucchiari was there, and Bert Falk asked him why he'd come to the race. And with the help of our translator, translating from Italian to German, that is, the answer was, I came to Germany because I got an invitation from the German importer. They want to have an Italian test rider here at Hockenheim. Then Bernd went and had a chat with local hero Klaus Ehrenberger. Why are you riding here? Well, says Klaus, I have great motivation, and I'm looking forward to the races because my home's just 25 kilometres from Hockenheim. I'm sure that there'll be a lot of fans here to watch me. Also, my team's located in Hockenheim, and I hope that the fans will get behind me and my team. So, just 2 races to go, both on the short circuit at Hockenheim. A big crowd to watch the action. And as the lights changed to green, the charge was on. A big wheelie from Edwin Weibel, and it was his teammate, Bernhard Schick, who went well. Problems, though, right on the first corner for Arpad Almaty, but he stays on board. Udo Mark then fighting his way through to take the lead, with Jochen Schmidt in second place. Here's when Udo Mark dived through to grab the lead from the Kawasaki man. A brave piece of riding. Udo Mark was determined to do well if he could. Big crash in the background, and that was Stefan Mertens, another Ducati rider brought in to try to help the front runners against the Christer Lindholm Yamaha attack. And there's Mertens picking up the bike, dusting himself down. Edwin Weibel, though, out in front, holding off an attack from Udo Mark, and Christer Lindholm fighting hard to take second place as well. The championship was very much in doubt, and there's Udo Mark going through on the inside and Lindholm having to take the long route. The riders' worst 2 performances had to be dropped, so the championship was still going to be in doubt right up to the very last moment. The leaders were battling wheel to wheel, and Lindholm, for one, who'd not been very well before the race started, decided that he was going to be a bit cautious, but not these men. Edwin Weibel actually on the dirt because Steve Topham just went a little bit too wide. All the quick men living dangerously. And there's Mauro Lucchiari waving on Edwin Weibel to go second in the closing stages. Lucchiari had done what he'd been hired to do. And out in front, Udo Mark was heading for what he hoped was going to be an impressive victory. Behind him, Edwin Weibel. There's the moment when Lucchiari gave the nod to Weibel to go past and take second spot. Udo Mark in front, and he crosses the line just a machine's length ahead of Edwin Weibel. That's the result. Mark, Weibel, Lucchiari, Lindholm 4th, and Jochen Schmidt 5th. Lindholm still on target for victory, but it was going to be a tense final round. Lucchiari celebrating with some champagne, but he'd probably prefer Chianti. And Udo Mark looking, not surprisingly, very happy. 15 points, the gap between the first and second at the end of 13 races. But remember, 2 races to be dropped. So on to the 14th and final round of the year. The short circuit at Hockenheim, again the venue. But there's part of the 2D telemetry that was going to be used to show how the bikes were running, what the revs were and how quick the bikes were. So onto the grid for the final race. The green light and the charge is on. A good start from Edwin Weibel and Bernhard Schick. Lindholm too well up, but not the best of starts for Udo Mark. Christer Lindholm out in front, but a nasty scare for Udo Mark, and that allowed Mauro Lucchiari to go through. In fact, Lucchiari didn't have any choice. Lucchiari showing his pace by taking the fastest lap of the race, and finally he forced his way past race leader Christer Lindholm to go out in front. A faller, and that was for Werner Streich, the man who tangled ever so closely with Udo Mark a little earlier. Jochen Schmidt showed no respect for the championship contenders. The Kawasaki man trying desperately to show a fine result in the last round of the series. He may be out of the championship contention, and there's a nasty tumble involving Thomas Corner. Very, very lucky to get away with that one. The bike narrowly missing him as it bounced down the track. And here's another nasty moment for poor old Stefan Mertens. A faller in round 13 and forced off the track in round 14. The last lap of the race, Lucchiari going so well. Edwin Weibel ahead of him. There's the race leader, Weibel heading for victory in this 14th and final round. He'd ridden so well and certainly not been disgraced. The championship had slipped away from him, but Edwin Weibel showed just what a fine rider he was. So the result of round 14 was Weibel, Lucchiari, Mark, Lindholm and Schmidt, and that meant that Christer Lindholm was the champion. Edwin Weibel celebrated, but there is the champion. The Swede had done it. A consistent season, a fine battle with Udo Mark, and there to please the fans, a little bit of a burnout. You can tell he doesn't buy the tyres. The Swedish flags in evidence. Lucchiari shakes the hands of race winner Edwin Weibel, and that's how it finished in the points situation in the PS Magazine and Hein Gericke team competition. A new championship that's very popular with the team members. Prize money awarded all the way down the championship table, and most of that, quite rightly, going to the mechanics. But out on the circuit, it was Christer Lindholm celebrating. He'd won the championship by just 4 points from Udo Mark. Edwin Weibel in third place, just 5 points behind Udo Mark. Kellenberger fourth. His brother Roger Kellenberger seventh home. And Michael Rudroff completing the top 10.